Jay? Cliff? Cliff?
Good job.
Paul? Okay. Before you play, let me ask you a couple questions. How much time have you actually spent together, the five of you?
2 days.
2 days?
Yes,
Yeah, good.
we met on Friday.
Wonderful. And have you played this piece before? No, you, yes, it's your piece. Yeah, so, have you heard the piece before? No? Yeah. It's a wonderful piece. And how much of this piece have you played together in these couple of
We
years?
played through all 4 movements, but we predominantly worked on the first
Yeah.
movement.
And did you have any other coaching
Yes, with the houseman quartet.
with the house?
Very helpful.
Yeah. So they listen to the first movement also?
Yes.
So now if I say things, they could be completely contradictory.
You
Yeah,
would.
that's what we do. That's what musicians do anyways. We throw out different opinions and then we sort it out and we come to some conclusions. Wonderful. So, well, why don't you proceed and don't take for repeat. So you're all here, most of, all part of the event?
Yeah, we will play.
You all play wonderful, and you're supporting each other and listening to each other and being nervous for each other. Are you all nervous today?
When you hear
It doesn't seem like, right, you shouldn't be nervous.
I forgot my music. I got it for this year.
No. No, I mean, aren't we so fortunate to be able to make music?
Yes.
You know, it's a gift. You know, it's a gift. You know, I thought you sounded best when you had the tempo going. When you started the piece, did any of you think it was the right tempo? Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit,
We
because
talked about that for 3 days.
you know, this happens on all levels. I mean, you know, I see it with my students at Curtis, you know, there's really top level students, and I see it in groups that I play with, and there's something which I think is worth talking about a little bit, is that none of us want to be really pushy with the others. But I guarantee you, if I asked any one of you individually what you think the tempo of this piece should be, you'd probably all be very close to agreeing that it for sure shouldn't be that for the start. And as far as exactly what tempo, maybe we would disagree. But so I think a lot of that is in, you know, we want to be together with each other, and nobody wants to step up and sort of take charge. Stick their chest out, so to speak. So I think it's something worth recognizing that, I don't know about you guys, but for me, you know, when I listen to music and I imagine music and I think about it while my cello is still in the case, it always sounds really good. And when I take the cello out, that's when the problem is. I think this has to be true of all of us. Right, so it's really important, and maybe when you're rehearsing, that's something you can do. You know, just that you can even sing together, for example, without playing. Or you could at least, you know, talk about the tempo without playing. Right. But, does this make sense, what I'm saying? So, that's one thing. You know, I do have to tell you a little Benny Goodman story. Yeah, because it's a true story, and I was there. But there's a music festival in Vermont called Mozart. It's a pretty renowned festival, and it was one of the founders was Rudolph Serkin, a great pianist. And there were some pranksters up at Mozart, and one of the younger musicians. As the story goes, Benny Goodman called Rudolph Serkin and said, I'd like to come up tomorrow and read a couple of pieces. Mr. Serkin assumed this was a prank, by one of the younger musicians, so he said, sure, come on up, we'd love to have you. Well, Van Goodman showed up. This was probably way back in the 50s, and then a number of years later, he wanted to come back, and I had the opportunity to read this piece with Van Goodman. That was probably in the early 80s, I'd say.
How did he do?
Well, not so good. But he was delightful. I remember there's a piano behind you. I walked into the rehearsal studio, and there were about 15 reeds lying on the piano. And that was a marvelous experience, needless to say. So may I suggest a tempo? Think in two beats to a bar rather than four. One, but there's something that remains true and will always be true, I'm convinced of it, is that when we're musical, we sound our best. And it's at any level. I mean, right now this sounds much better because it's more right music. Right? And so whatever you're doing when you make music, make sure that you're trying to play the feeling, the character. It's better to play the right tempo and miss more notes than to get all the notes right in the wrong tempo. Absolutely. And let there be no question about it, because we're all flawed. We have different levels. And like I say, some of my students are so remarkable in terms of what they can do instrumentally, but it's only when they play more right musically that they sound right to me. So I think it's something to keep in mind. So this what we played just now sounded beautiful and right because it's very much one of the right tempo. The composer's intention is what should guide us. We can't always be certain of what that intention is, but in principle our efforts to understand and kind of reflect what we think the composer wanted to hear is the most important thing. So there's always a lot of other stuff going on. And like I say, I would say let's go on. You have letter B, somebody pencil that in, or it's right where we stopped, where,
Okay.
or if you have bar numbers, so I believe it's 42.
Yes, that's 42.
42.
All right, so now that we've stopped playing, we're in danger of losing our tempo again. So, let me say something else, too, while I'm at it. You know this idea of leading and following? A cliff. If I follow you, I'll be behind you the whole way, right? Right? I follow you down the street, so you want to walk together, you want to lead together. So this idea of giving cues and then following the other is in principle a good idea, but it doesn't really work. So what you want to do as an ensemble is to start to develop a unity. And part of that is in breathing together, moving together. So even though in many cases, the first violin will give a cue, or the clarinet in this piece will give a cue because their roles are more dominant to playing melody. But let's have everyone leading together so that we're actually moving side by side. I'll tell you one thing that helped me of course, I have the score in front of me, and it's beautiful to look at it. If you haven't actually looked at the score, I encourage you to really, maybe over lunch or something, just look at it together, and again, without the instruments, to see, and it's just so beautifully marked. But one of the things I see here is bar 49, or shortly after where you started the pianissimo on the strings. And Mozart wrote the Dolce for, is it J? So one thing that helped me is when I started seeing these dynamic markings as character marks, not just volume marks, but like so if you see a dynamic by the composer, to think not just of the volume level, but of a character, a feeling, a kind of a sound. And that there's a significant difference between pianissimo and piano. Not just a little softer, but a significantly different feeling. Likewise, between forte and fortissimo. And if you look back, and I don't think there's a pianissimo previously from the beginning, so this would be a very, very special sound. Not only quieter, but with a hidden inward feeling, I would say, for the strings. With that in mind, can we play 42 again, letter B? just go right through it. If you drop a few of those notes, believe me, it's less important. You don't want to lose, because he's bringing us back to tempo. We don't want to lose tempo. We want to get back up to tempo. So again, let's just think about it without playing it. You know, you see where it says crescendo? Then it did 57 through the strings without playing. Pa-pa-pa-pum, forte, pa-pa-pa-pum, lum, lum, let's try to get this. And the thing is, I'm not going to conduct you. I want you to conduct yourself, okay? And like I said, if you miss 5 of those 16 notes, guys and girls, it's not, nobody minds, right? But if you play slow, it has a less good effect musically. It's better to miss a note than keep the tempo than to play it too slow. Can we do right where it says? Yes. Let's do right where it says crescendo. Do you have that, Jay?
Yeah.
57. Now remember, I'm interrupting you, but remember, we lead together, so you have to goose each other to move the. It could be 3 bars before your 4th is printed. Or before C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before C. Not perfect, but better. Do it one more time. See, Jerry is used to waiting for you. That time you guys win. It was good. Yeah, he was look at you. Same thing. That's the idea. You're not quite in the same group, but it's definitely an improvement. Hey, do you all have any questions for me? Or
Thank you.
We did officially, that's right. I've never spoke to you before. You today, before this,
don't know.
related, we never talked, right?
I don't think so.
Because I know you think we planned this temple thing. We're fighting all the last days. I paid him off to say that.
Still, that's probably a good exercise for you. It's fine, it's fine, man.
I know.
Once again, while we reset, again, we're going to be bringing back our Bronx Trio because of our scheduling. Hopefully, we have to change around, but they're going to be playing a different movement for this. So we'll welcome you back.
Thank you.
Can I get you one more time? Take your picture.
Just do a selfie.
Yes.
Have a little chat. Oh, he's getting one. Okay, you can take one.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to have a little stretch for those of us who've been here for a while. So everyone has a little break to
I'm Belmont 3:30. Yeah, I think that's
So have you had moved you out?
okay, yeah, that was the success song. Yeah, nice to see you again.
When